people always ask me how to build mental toughness. Like, you can read as many books as you want, you can listen to as many professors as you want, but until you'll never build that mental toughness and that mental strength.
So for me,
100%.
it would be about those. It doesn't matter if you get them when you're young or when you're older, but it's just about listening to them.
And I mean, I think that's why main reason I have this podcast as well. I want to show the highs and the lows, that football is not all sunshines and rainbows. And the fact, I think that we've seen, just from the beginning of your journey, you have the ability to self-reflect and be honest with yourself and look yourself in the mirror. What you said there, like, now 28 years old, in your prime with all the experience, you said you're a complete player. Yeah. So a lot of people would come on this podcast, listen and say, oh, this guy's cocky or this guy's arrogant. But I completely think the opposite. You know what I mean? I think that you've completely, let's say, I don't know if you've heard of David Goggins, but you've dissected the strengths and the weaknesses, and you've put in the time throughout your career to get to where you're at. So you fully deserve to say that, and I think the people who say, when someone says that, or for example, when someone's like on social media showing their results or showing their highlights or whatever, when they say they're cocky, it's because they're insecure themselves. So I think the people that are secure with inside themselves have the ability to really realize and respect that. So I fully respect that. And with that being said, and I think you probably answered the question, but, there's always, when we hear coaches, when we hear pros talk on podcasts, everyone talks about belief and talks about believing in yourself. How do you truly develop that belief? How do you truly develop that self-confidence? Because you mentioned that word a lot, and you said that's why you got here today. So for the young footballers listening, how do you develop that true self-confidence and belief in yourself?
I think it's about being knocked down more times than you've actually been put on a pedestal, to be honest, because it doesn't matter where you are in your career, youth, pro, whatever, if you're only hearing positive or proper accolades, you're not actually learning anything, in my opinion. I've learnt the most from the hardest moments, the deepest, the darkest, the moments, the times where people have said no to me, the times where people have just been 100% honest with me and said, you don't have this, you don't have that. I'm the kind of player and person that appreciates the hard truth. And although in the moment it's hard to process, it's hard to digest, you learn from that.
Yep.
My belief is you don't learn from just being the best all the time, or you don't learn from winning every single game. That's why inevitably one team wins, one team loses. That's why every squad has a maximum of whatever number of players in the first 11 in the squad in total. It's because you're meant to go through these hard times. It's not meant to be easy. You're not meant to go through it and just be like, yeah, I am the best, and have sunshine and rainbows around you all the time. You're not going to learn through that. Whereas if you go through the hard times and you take on the positive criticism, or, you just sit there in the mirror and acknowledge the fact that, okay, I am good, but I'm not the best because there's things that I still need to work on. And if you're okay with that, and then you go and work on that, that's what inevitably evolves you into a better footballer, a better person, but also mentally, because this game, majority of it is mental, it grows you mentally as well. And you need all of these factors. So for me,
100%.
it would be about those negative moments, and it doesn't matter if you get them when you're young or when you're older, but it's just about listening to them, acknowledging them. Yes, you can take it to heart in the moment, but take a moment to actually fully process, feel those emotions, feel that critique, let it sink in, cry if you have to, scream if you have to, do what you have to, but fully indulging what you've heard or what's been said or given to you. Get through that part and then go and work on whatever they said. If they said
100%.
you're not fast enough, Go through the process of saying, I'm like mentally, I know I'm fast enough. I know I'm fast enough. I'm not fast enough. Oh, I should be faster. Go through all of that. And then when you
Yep.
get through all of that, actually sit there and be like, okay, this person has told me this for a particular reason. Now, because I've gone through it, I'm going to listen to them and I'm going to get faster. And it's not, I'm going
Exactly.
to get faster to prove that particular person or whatever wrong. It's to prove to yourself that you can go to that next step, you can go to that next level. And that obviously
Mm-hmm.
also doesn't just improve your physicality, that improves your mentality. So the next time something happens, positive or negative, you've already gone through a process like this. So it's like muscle memory. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. I've gone through this. I'm going to process this. I'm going to get better. On to the next one, on to the next one, on to the next one. And then over time, it just becomes nothing because you already
100%.
know how to process everything. And that's
Mm-hmm.
obviously comes with development, comes with age, comes with experience, comes with all of that. But
Yeah.
that's how you're able to, I guess, also stay at the best level or the highest level or whatever level you're playing at is because of those factors as well.
100%. Yeah, I love that, man. And at the end of the day, I think whatever you're chasing, whether you want to be a professional footballer or you want to start your own business or whatever you're chasing that's hard, if you look at the whole process as a self-development journey, that I think that's the most powerful because obviously, we can't play this game for the rest of our life. So after we play the game, we're going to go into other things. I see you have other things as well, which we'll talk about after. But you can either use that in parallel or and you bring that into the next area of your life. And I think if you look at this football journey as a self development process, and like you said from the beginning, building that bulletproof mindset, when you get into the real world, you'll eat everyone alive because no one has the discipline to wake up early, to do the 3 sessions a day, to sleep the 8 hours, to eat all the clean food. Like it's a 24/7 process to be a professional footballer and to stay there. You've been there for 10 years now. I mean, maybe signing that first pro contract, but the ability to stay consistent and maintain that is the goal. So, yeah, I mean, you talked about, which is very interesting, that journey to Croatia was a very big part playing in your process because obviously you moved away from family. It's a different culture. And I think people don't realize that. Like you can, I always say it all the time. People always ask me how to build mental toughness. Like you can read as many books as you want. You can listen to as many professors as you want. But until you put yourself in the dirt and you go through the grind, you'll never build that mental toughness and that mental strength.
I couldn't agree more. I 100% agree with you. The only way to
Yeah.
learn, the only way to get that is to go through it. And yes, it's dark. Of course, it's dark. But that's life. That's why there's sunshine and that's why there's darkness. At the end of the day,
100%.
you learn more through the dark or even through the light than you do from reading a book, than you do from even listening to us two speak. If you're going through
Exactly.
something or you've been through something, you're going to learn more because inevitably this is you and I speaking. So this is our journey. This is our minds
Mm-hmm.
connecting.
Mm-hmm.
The viewers, the people that are listening, it's not them. So yes, it's obviously good to hear stories and obviously speak about it, but you've got to go through these hard times. But like I said, the
Yeah.
most important thing is when you go through them, yes, it's hard, but learn from them. Take the time to really, really feel everything that you went through, feel the emotion, feel whatever it is, feel that first, get through it, and it builds you. And then
Mm-hmm.
like I said, it's just a roll on effect. You get stronger, things get easier. Even when it seems like it's harder, it's not that hard because you're just building that mental strength, mental toughness that nothing can get in your way of what you inevitably want to do. And if it is being a footballer, if it is being an artist, if it is being a director, whatever it is, you can achieve that. You can achieve whatever you want. Us as humans, we're built to be able to stand absolutely anything. And
100%.
that's why they say people dream big, dream big. But
Yes, I love it.
if your dream is so big, take the steps to reach that dream if that is your dream. Otherwise, it's
Mm-hmm.
not actually your dream. And you've got to
Mm-hmm.
have a realistic dream. For example, that's like me sitting here right now saying I want to be the president of Australia. I don't want to be the president of Australia, so why would I say it? I want to be a professional footballer. So, okay, bring out a mood board, do something to find out the steps that you've got to do to reach that goal. And it's not easy. It's hard. We just spoke on it. It's dark. There's going to be more downs than there's going to be ups, but just keep getting up. You get smacked, get up. You get a no, get up. Somebody doesn't like you, there's millions of other people in the world. There's millions of other clubs, there's coaches, whatever. There's always a plan B, plan C. That's why the alphabet goes that's why it goes all the way to Z. It's not just, you get one chance and it's over. No, if it doesn't work in plan A, go to the second, go to the third, retry it 100,000 times if you want. I could sit here right now and also tell you I've been rejected more times in my life than I know. I have more people that dislike me or speak negatively about me, but has that stopped me? Of course not. That's their opinion at the end of the day. And this is the bulletproof mindset that I'm talking about. People can have whatever opinion they want of me. I couldn't care less. But where am I? My dream at the start of this was to be a professional footballer. And where am I? I am a professional footballer. So if people love me, if people don't like me, if I get a yes, if I get a no, whatever it is, my dream is still there. And I'm still, even to this day, still taking the steps. Now it's not to get there, it's to maintain that dream. And that's obviously a completely different talking point in itself, but you understand what I mean.
100%. Yeah, and with all that being said, man, I completely agree. I mean, if you're doing things against the grain and you're not doing things like the rest of them, people are going to hate. And most of it stems from jealousy and insecurity, like we talked about before. But at the end of the day, I think the most important thing is the opinion of yourself. Can you look yourself in the mirror at the end of the day and say, this is my dream, and like you said, this is what I have to do. These are the steps I have to take to get there. I've reverse engineered the process. Did I do all those things? Or did I slack? Was I spending too much time on my phone? Was I watching too much TikTok? Was I playing too many video games? Or did you actually align all the actions with your words? And I think that's the biggest thing. I think, it's so easy to say I want to be a professional footballer, but to do those actions consistently day after day is the tough part.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. The phrase that I used to like and I still live by is sacrifice whatever you have to for whatever you want to achieve. And I've said that. Didn't come up with it obviously, but I've lived by that throughout my entire existence. If I want something, and I'm a perfect example, I packed my bags, left everything behind for something that I wanted.
Yeah.
If it is something that you want, doesn't matter what it is, but if it is something that you want, you've got to be all in. If that sacrifice
100%.
means getting off your phone, if that sacrifice means leaving the country, whatever it is, you've got to be tunnel vision. And this is very, very important. And this is why saying that you have a dream or a goal, you have to be 100% certain that is exactly what you want. Because 100%. When we have dreams and when we have goals, the normal person sees it as so far-fetched, but we see it as achievable. So to everybody else, you've already failed. But in your mind, if you have that tunnel vision and you know exactly what you want and you implement the steps that we were saying to get to that dream, nothing else along the way is going to distract you. Doesn't matter if it's girls, doesn't matter if it's parties, family, friends, social media, fashion, cars, money, doesn't matter. If you've got that tunnel vision with that dream still there in front of you, which has to be like that, it will be achievable eventually because you've been able to sacrifice everything else for the goal, the dream that you've wanted.
100%. Yeah. I love it, man. I love it.
Hope you enjoyed that video. Make sure you click one of these two videos right here to stay up to date with the best football development channel here on YouTube. And most importantly, don't forget to drink your sparkling water. Deuces.